Hey Alpha Strikers, welcome back to the Joker's Wild review video. This is the rare edition. So, who do we have here first?
Rare like a steak. I believe you're up first with the Joker, yet again.
Wow, so many Jokers in this set. That's awesome.
Well, you know, it's only titled Joker's Wild.
Not a Batman set? Are you sure? Alright, so this is the Joker. He is a grand total of 50 hot smoking points. He has the Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Underworld keywords, a trait, and an attack power. Trait is how deal with the bat. His says if you take his attack, you may reroll the attack roll. It's prob without prob. That could be very potent.
Comes in handy in the first battle box we did. I got to use him, and I was looking forward to being able to reroll if I needed to. So,
well, he's not too shabby in the attack value department. 10s and 11s the entire dial.
Good way to pass it off.
That is pretty baller for 50 points. Also has sidestep, almost the entire dial. Well, the entire dial actually, with perplex and outwit and super senses. So hey, not too shabby. Oh, and he has willpower, guys. This Joker is insane. We all did see him when he first was previewed way back when GTM released that article, him and the Riddler. I was super excited for this Joker. The flower spray was kind of cool. I was a little upset when I got mine. He was sketched with no...
It was broken. It wasn't in there.
Was in the pack. Couldn't fix it. So, his attack power has the whole dial. Is give the Joker a power action to make a close attack, target a single opposing character within 3 squares and line of fire. If the attack hits, deal the character 1 penetrating damage instead of normal damage, which is fine because he only has 2 damage the entire dial.
Again, so, in the battle box, you could see me use that repeatedly. It was handy.
To good effect. It was not terrible at all. So, other than that, he has no range, so he's just brawling with you like you normally would. Which is funny because I usually always see a Joker with a gun. Like, I just feel he should have, like, 4 range at most points in his life because that's his weapon. A knife and a gun, that's what he does. He is straight and to the point. So, his role on your team is he's going to be passing out 10s. He will have Perplex to give out 11s to people who share his attack and reroll. That's really good. Weaknesses, only has super senses. 1 straight precision strike to the face, he is done for. Doesn't have any mastermind. The Joker thugs do help him because they can just pawn off the attack completely from him. So always, 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 guys, no matter what Joker you play, if you can fit a couple of Joker thugs, I highly recommend it. You'll make him go from 4 clicks to at least, I don't know, they have what,
7?
3? 7? Or, yeah, 7 or 10.
Yep. So he'd be 7 or 10. It's not bad for 70 points.
Not bad at all for 70 points. But aside from that, yeah, play him with his friend, man. Batman enemies, he's on that team. He needs to be with that team, always. Weaknesses, like I said, without Mastermind fodder or Joker thugs, which is not Mastermind, but Joker thugs, and a way to hide, he's just one shot dead.
So, we're going to go into Fantasyland for a minute here.
Fantasyland.
How would it have been to
Rare
get
exclusive.
A shifting focus Joker?
For how many were in the set, I wouldn't have been unhappy.
That would have been amazing. So you'd have one that it's his getaway Joker. And you've got one that's his, tie up, poison, in cap Joker. And then you've got one that's just a straight up Blades Claws Joker. And you've got one that's is the range Joker. I really think that would have been just a lot of fun, especially pairing off against the
Batman.
shifting focus Batman. Wow. I mean, that would be crazy.
Those Elseworld sets come out, and they said they were going to make a lot of shifting focus figures. He could have a couple. I wouldn't be upset with more Jokers, to be honest with you. He's one villain who's only ever had like 1 or 2 iterations in a couple sets ever. So, sure. Which kids, I would love more Jokers if you want to make a couple more.
All right, back on track. Number 34, Harley Quinn. This is commonly referred to as the Hypersonic Harley.
Stop hogging all the Harleys, Mike.
Tell me I'm hogging them.
I want one too.
Oh, wait, but there won't be any more in the set.
Oh.
All right, so she's got the Gotham City keyword and Suicide Squad. So she just jumps right in the Suicide Squad there with calculators so she can take the Suicide Squad TA. Coming through, her movement power, she can use Force Blast, period. When she isn't adjacent to an opposing character, she can use hypersonic speed. So she's going to run in and bump you. And, really, overall, great dial. She's got energy shield deflection with an 18 to start, so
Nice.
you're going to want to make sure you're not basing people. You're going to have a 20 defense, possibly 21 if you're in hindering, even though she doesn't ignore hindering for movement purposes. So
Stay behind hindering.
you're going to be able to have the hypersonic out and then come back. Perplex, so you can bumper attack or bumper damage and then do the knockback as well. She takes a hit to the jaw. She goes to stealth. Super Sense is an outwit, so she's going to just run and hide at that point. You've knocked her off her skates. She's just going to go solid, just outwit and let everybody else do the work. She has 60 points, which is amazing for what she does. She is a threat and a half. Weakness, short dial, no damage reducers, and the fact that you only get to use the hypersonic when you're not based. So
your opponent may just throw something at her to keep her from running like that.
Joker Thug,
Yeah.
Manhunter, Thanagarian. I'm based. I'm done.
If you're playing Thanagarian, you're doing it wrong.
To make her better, so I had the opportunity to run her with Calculator and Shiva.
Nice.
That was gross. That was a 13 attack up close with 3 damage with knockback. Just zip pop for 60 points.
You want to make her even better? Harley's Hammer from the Fast Forces.
Giant reach.
Give her that giant reach too, and quick, so you have like 2 printed damage, right?
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. You lose no damage buffs. You go 11 attack Quake.
Now you can't hyper and quake at the same time.
That's right.
But you do get the giant reach, so you
Yes.
can avoid plasticity.
Yes.
So a lot of good things that you could do with her there.
Not too shabby. All right, next up we have the legendary, the first ever printed Killer Moth. I almost cried a little bit when I got this figure. It was actually a gift from this guy, but I loved it because I really wanted it.
I was really excited when I got it because there was a whole lot of hype around him, and then I saw what he did, and I was like, this guy sucks. Why does everybody want this guy? Because he's a joke? Because he's a cosmic joke? Did they actually think they were going to make him as good as Condiment Man?
Condiment King?
Condiment King? Condiment Man, whatever.
Condiment King is so much better than this figure.
I was like, so I can like take 12s from Batman Enemy. He's still
Running
blah,
shot, in cap, 5 range, only 1 bolt.
blah, blah, blah.
I mean, his damage values are so low. I'll be honest. I never read the issue or issues that this guy is in. He's that rare of a Batman villain. Now, I'm just a big diehard Batman fan like I am a Spider-Man fan, so I wanted all of them, period. But I wanted something. Like, anything.
Something usable.
Anything. Like, he only 65 points. His point cost is efficient, but the values, they don't stack up to anything else in the set. Even with Batman Enemy giving away attacks. Why am I using it to waste 65 points on 2 damage or even in cap 1 person? I feel I was a little let down. I was one of those guys who was like, please print a Killer Moth. I was on that bandwagon forever. I heard a couple podcasts like Diablo for Heroclix. They were big on him. A couple other ones, but I don't know. Weaknesses, no reducers again. He just dies to hits.
Weaknesses, the whole dial.
Strengths, I really can't find one.
So, in attempts to make him better, Batman Enemy TA, people with high attacks, give him a really high defend, pair him with PD team, and give him an enhancement and perplexes, and just min-max this guy, and give him everything that he could possibly have to try and make him worth anything.
It's going to cost you at least 100 points to make this guy better. Let's be brutally honest. You gotta throw the Pandora's box on him, 3 more perplexes, and stuff.
You.
Indeed. You're next.
Alright, so, Flash. You know, I was really excited to see this guy, especially when they previewed him, because he's got a lot of good qualities, going back to that JSA call-ins. Keywords, All-Star Squadron, Justice Society, Keystone City, Past, Scientist, Speedster, 35 points.
You go, Jay Garrick.
Shoom! Really straightforward. He's got that trait Simpler Time. He can grant super senses, but only evade on a 6, so a really specific super sense. Starts off Hypersonic 12, 11 attack, 18 defense, 2 damage. Not great in the damage department. That's what Perplex and Enhancement is for.
Empower in his instance.
Yeah, sorry. Empower. 35 points. I mean, wow. go-to flash any day of the week.
An ID card for this guy, too.
I know. 35-point call-in. He grants, what, +3 to movement speed?
Yes.
So I'm just going to go back to it. Mystique calls him in. Oh, look, now all my charged running shot people get +3 to their already replaced values. That's pretty much a full movement charge or running shot at that point.
Almost, yeah.
Because I brought in good old Jake ErX. And then he hypersonics out, 5 squares, punches you, and then hypersonics away and disappears. Wow, talk about an assault piece. But weaknesses, no damage reducers, picks up Super Sense's late dial, but when he gets Super Senses, he loses his hypersonic speed. I mean,
he's in his dodgy form.
That's all she wrote. He is like, I'm going to zip in there and attack, and as soon as I get hit, I'm done. Sorry, going home. I don't want to play anymore. But don't discount him. 35 points, excellent call-in. Pair him with, the usual, the classic threats, TK, bonuses. Give him some perplex. Make sure he's next to people with power when he goes to punch.
So Mike.
Harley's hammer to make sure he can avoid plasticity.
Would you put your signature Hulkbuster torso on that?
For 35 points, done and done.
Really?
Yep.
Anybody else? He gets it because he needs the reducer.
Well, he's got 5 clicks of life.
So
3 clicks. I mean, you're gonna hit me for 5. I'm gonna reduce by 2. I'm still gonna die. But at 5 clicks, you would have to hit me for 7 to one-shot me, which is particularly rare. So I'm going to get at least 2 hits out of him. You'd have to hit me for at least 5 to get me off my hypersonic at that point. So it's going to keep me alive for 2 hits, keeping my hypersonic.
So basically you're saying these JSA pieces, if an opponent wants points off of you, they're putting way too much effort to pull these 35 points or 40 points off of you.
Absolutely. Well, I'm just talking if I put a Hulkbuster.
Well, 45 still.
40, yeah, they're just way too much effort to try and get that for what they do.
Fair enough. All right. So I have the Looker. This is the one that's the Outsiders. Gotham City Outsider keywords. Has grand total of 3 powers with the Outsiders team ability. It's only 45 points. This is by far, next to the Nightwing from the Fast Forces of World's Finest, to have Outsiders very, very cheap.
And Mind Control.
And Mind Control, and Flight. So, this is a tech box right here. So, she does a couple things. Of course, she carries in pieces for you. She can then Mind Control opposing pieces, and when she hits, they modify their attack value by +1, even if you preemptively Outsiders them to avoid energy shield deflection, hindering bonus, something of the like. So she takes their any piece and just makes them either run away with them, Bane, or hits you. Could have hit for 13 attack, 5 damage, but didn't, which is really weird. Because I could use my Bane in that fight, but now I didn't get to, so...
He's still a little salty about that first Joker's Wild Box. Check it out. Watch me use Looker to make Bane go stand next to 2 Anarchy Bombs and just take it.
In a puddle of water. Well, acid, whatever
the chemicals, ace chemicals.
She also has regular Mind Control, late dial, and on defense, just ESD. So, wow. Obviously, her weaknesses are her defense. If she's based and clocked for 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, she's done. 2 clocks of whatever, 2 and 3, she's also dead. Her Mind Control does not stop her from getting the feedback damage on 150 points or more.
Yep.
But with the curve of points these days, that's not a big thing. Like even Ra's al Ghul, 140 points. Batman, 120 points.
There isn't a single figure in the set that's over...
160.
You sure it's 160?
Yeah.
Pardon me a moment. 160.
160. He's the height... Oh, you're killing Man-Bat.
Kill Man-Bat. Okay.
Okay. So...
Go ahead. Continue.
Making her better, play her with an Outsiders team, guys. Even a Gotham City team. She is your tech support piece. She can position people for you. She can mind control opponents to a place, blend their team, or hit their own character to kill them or hurt them. And she's a good blocker. Like, even if you want to put her in front of somebody, a 19 defense or 20 in hindering is nothing to scoff at. But she's just really bad in the close combat. If someone bases her like an atom, he's just going to beat her up.
Alright, up next, Looker Prime.
How is this vampire?
37B. Oh, we'll get to Vampire Daz in a minute.
Mike's got a small ranch for you guys.
It's coming. Wait for it. Outsiders, Monster, and Reporter. Not too bad. Does get the Outsiders TA. Pretty decent dial. Starting off Charge, TK, Exploit, and Toughness. Drops into Mind Control with Outwit. And then 2 clicks of regen with Stealth, so you can definitely run her away and get her healed up. She doesn't get her special defense power until 2 clicks into her Vampire, where she can get Combat Reflexes and Impervious. And then her trait is, of course, the Vampire Still Energy. Starts on click 5 and can heal past her starting line. Alright, rant in 3, 2, 1. Vampire dials need to have Flurry and Willpower, as well as the ability to either get in and or out to be worth anything. I'm sorry, that's just where it's at. I can't run in, charge, and attack you and get 1 click just to have you turn around and beat the tar out of me down to my regen, and you never get back up to where I can actually enjoy those top 3 clicks of vampire amazingness. I can't bring your people to me, save a successful TK
or mind control
in hopes of killing you, especially if I'm going to have to push to do it, because I'm just going to steal energy 1, gain it, and then lose it. I really need willpower, or I need flurry so I can flurry you and at least get 2 clicks out of that, and then flurry again on a push to lose 1 and then gain 1, or gain 2, so I can actually get up into those higher values in being a vampire. Either that or really leadership at 100 points. I mean, Batman at 120 has it. Kingpin at 75 does regardless of point value. She's going to be really hard to leadership, and overall, I mean, her vampire dial looks tasty. I mean, wow. High Personic 12, Precision Strike 19, Invincible with freaking 4, and Probability Control. You'll never see it. Never. I'm sorry. And unless you are eating scrubs for breakfast.
You're chomping thugs, hopefully.
And throwing her out there and then bringing her back, you will never see it. I'm sorry. You just won't.
However, if you have, please in the comments below, let us know how that went, because we'd love to hear how she did on her top dial.
Vampire dials, I think they're an amazing invention, but they require
need some support,
flurry and or willpower. Indom, either or. If you put them both together, you're just begging for me to be top click, but I'll take one or the other, because if I can take 2 and actually get up there, or if I can just push and get those 2 that way, because I mean, 2 clicks up, I would have had an 18 defense with combat reflexes and impervious. So if I can hit you twice and get up that far, I'm gonna survive.
At least have the impervious to not roll all the way back off your vampire stuff.
Right, but I mean, 20 defense impervious up close, awesome, but no willpower to get me there, no flurry to get me there. I'm not digging it. Make her better. Weaknesses, vampire dial. That's just where it's at. She's really great for a TK. She's an okay close combat, but for 100 points for what you get if you can't activate that vampire, not worth your time. Make her better. Give her some way to get in and get out. Give her willpower. Give her flurry. There are things that do that, and really get to that high click and make it happen. All right.
Next up, we have the amazing, wonderful Court of Owls assassin Talon.
Oh, Talon.
This guy is something else for 120 points. So,
ridiculous.
Court of Owls keyword, Gotham City keyword, which I appreciate. Assassin, love that one. Martial artist, awesome. Past, a prevalent keyword, especially in this set.
Oh yeah.
So, he has a trait and a defense power. Trait is Assassin of the Court. Talon can use sidestep and stealth. I have to correct myself earlier on an earlier video. In the comments, I had wished that the assassins had stealth.
They do.
They do. I wanted them to have sidestep. So I got that backwards. Talon has sidestep, they have stealth. He has both, stealth and sidestep.
Which is ridiculous.
Wonderful. Doesn't have traded blades. That's okay. He has it most of his dial anyways, as you can see on the picture there.
Ignores elevated and hindering for movement purposes.
Yes, he does. He also can use Mastermind, but only transfer to the Court of Owls assassin initiates, which they all do. And they're all 4. They are just Mastermind fodder. We've got over that.
Is it the keyword or just the initiates?
Oh, Court of Owls keyword. So he can go off to assassins too.
Which are much better than the initiates, in my opinion.
And they have regen, so that's always good too.
Yeah.
Alright. His defense power gives him combat reflexes and regeneration, which he has on his last 2 clicks with Outwit, which is very handy. Outwit that willpower, don't let them hit you again, they push for it. When he uses regen, instead of subtracting 2 from the result, you may have him subtract the number of action tokens assigned to him. So he can go -1, -2, -0.
No action tokens. Yeah, I'm just doing a regen for
Just
6.
a roll for.
I'm back to full. Deal with it. Oh, you're hitting me. I'm pawning off damage to my friendly neighborhood assassin or Court of Owls initiate.
So this guy I played against in I think it was a release day one. Mike played him. He'll tell you in a bit here, but
No, that was second. The second sealed.
Was it?
Oh, I guess that is the release day
yeah, it's
rather
the
than
release
pre-release.
day. I got it. I got this.
You got it.
He has 5 range, 2 bolts, running shot with 11 attack, precision strike, 18 defense toughness with shape change. He found this cute little grassy patch. He'd hide in there. He'd running shot out 2 squares, shoot my guys, sidestep back into stealth, and I'd never ever touch him.
Sorry.
Yeah, evil slipped out there, huh?
Oh, I totally swept that tournament just with Talon because and keep in mind, I was also playing him with Bizarre Green Arrow, so if I ever was not in stealth, you had to shoot Green Arrow first. Oh, it was beautiful. Anyway.
Aside from that, if he does get clocked, ever, middle dial, he has charge with 11 attack Blades Claws, 10 attack Blades Claws, both 3 and 2 with exploit weakness.
So I'm going to sidestep out, or I'm gonna charge out. Blades Claws are for exploit. I'm gonna sidestep back into stealth, hopefully, which is 2 squares away from my target, and then you still can't see me. He is so good for 120 points.
And then even if you don't decide you want to regenerate him on the last 2 clicks, he does have 10 and 9 attack with Blades Claws, Fangs, and Outwit. So he's one of the higher point figures in the set. Batman Enemy.
Oh, look, I'm borrowing Shiva's 12 with a calculator. They're just chilling in the back while I'm out doing some work.
Or if you don't have calculator and Shiva, he still passes out 11s to friendly nearbys, which I'm pretty darn sure the assassins also have Batman Enemy, don't they?
I thought they had
it's
Underworld.
Underworld. Okay. Underworld.
Underwear.
Underwear. Under who?
Under there.
But yeah. So this guy's great with a Court of Owls team, or a Gotham City team, or even a martial artist assassin team. There's just so many prevalent enemies of Batman that could be in those keywords. So check it out, guys. I highly recommend him. His only weakness I can think of, obviously, Battle Fury. You Battle Fury Blades Claws this guy, he will probably die. He does take 6 damage to kill, though. So you need a Blades Claws Fix of 6 with Battle Fury. Who can do that? Oh, he has toughness. Never mind. He's 7.
Nice thought.
Dang toughness.
Alright, up next, El Diablo. So we all saw him in the Suicide Squad movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It was, in my opinion, a good movie.
It was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it.
Suicide Squad Mystical. It's nice to see the mystical keyword, considering what he is and what he does. His trait, Minor Wrath of Vengeance. Sounds like he needs to run with Ghost Rider.
Right.
When El Diablo hits an opposing character after action is resolved, attach the fire marker to a hit opposing character, removing it from anywhere else. So only one person gets this at a time. At the beginning of that character's turn, deal 1 penetrating damage. When that character moves through water terrain or clears action tokens, remove the fire marker.
Push the fire.
Flash. So I had the opportunity to use him, but I have to say I did it poorly because I kept dropping the fire marker on somebody who already had 2 action tokens. So, yeah.
They still took 1. They still did take 1.
They still take 1, but, it works a little bit better if you get them when they have no action tokens. So, I mean, they could still choose to just stand there, but, if they want to push or make it worthwhile before they take that damage.
Yeah.
Anyway, he starts with stealth, Pensai with an 11, 17 defense with probability control for 75 points. I say for 6 range, just drop him to stealth and shoot people. Hand out that fire marker. Get him in a good position where you can pass out probability control. Wait for them to base him, because if they base him and hit him, he loses Pensai. He gets it every other click, but then he drops into sidestep with energy shield deflection and alternates between range combat expert and prob. So he's really designed to be a range figure, but with that sidestep, you got a good chance of breaking away. And if he dies, your Suicide Squad, whoever's standing next to him, gets to bounce it up. Or if you're just so happy enough to run Amanda Waller, he dies, everybody gains life.
Seriously, yeah.
So weaknesses, he doesn't stand up well to close combat. If they manage to penetrating poison him for 1, he loses his prob, and then he's just ripe for the picking for that close combat. He does lose his stealth after 2 clicks, so he can't really hide anymore, but they're looking to base him anyway, and then he pretty much loses any and all good effects that he has. But, make it happen. Just quick check here. When he hits an opposing character, so he can pass out the flame marker even at a close combat attack.
Yeah.
That's a little new. Usually it's a ranged attack. I like that. So, I don't know. That kind of offsets that to make him better. The usual suspects for ranged characters, enhancement, PD team.
TK for positioning, so then stealth.
Get him in position, give him some combat reflexes, or damage reducer.
Alright, next we have Sandman, another member of the awesome JSA team, coming in at 30 points.
Mr. Sandman. Go ahead.
So this guy has a simpler time. Whenever they share with him, that character can use prob control, but only if the result has a 6 in the dice roll.
Yeah, so we're back to the other one.
Yes, very similar to the other one. Our man had the same one, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. His damage attack power, he has the entire dial. He has a sleep gun. When Sandman hits an attack, after action resolve, he may counter a power on the target until the character clears action tokens.
Good night.
So it's an outwit, but a much more interesting one because they get it for longer than normal turn, depending on how long they actually want to keep going with actions. And it's not actually outwit, but it does counter. So words that would say can't be countered, unfortunately, he can't deal with. Alright. He has stealth for 3 of his 4 clicks, willpower for 2 of his 4, does have 10 attack, 2 damage. Now, one cool thing about this character, real quick, weakness-wise, no reducer. He is really hoping on more JSA guys to give him bigger defense, but 1 good clock of 4, done.
But he's stealth, so you're going to have to draw out that close combat.
Now, making him better. More JSA pieces. If you can pair him with any of them to give him 18s and extra abilities to block damage, great. But the Sandman Marvel ID card can be used on this figure.
What?
It says Sandman.
What?
It is Sandman.
What?
So if you feel it could be in your tech, you can use that to shoot someone
You
can shoot someone 5 squares away for 10 attack. And
okay.
Counter a power.
I understand Ares. He's the god of war. Ares in either universe, fine. Cersei, yeah, totally understand. Sandman? Really? You're gonna let us get away with Sandman? I was actually thinking, Sandman doesn't have an ID card. Never mind. He does.
Very much does. So that's slight option for you guys. Not the best call-in for Sandman. I really like the Superior Foes one for that card. It's still a pretty good card for him, that wall thing he does. So.
But how many points is he?
30.
There you go, 30-point call-in.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy. Yeah, so a cheap counter if you hit. I mean, I hate that it requires an attack roll, but, it's fine. Other than that, he's just going to soak up some damage, and if you have wild cards, JSA, give them that prob control with their whole 6. Like, oh, crit hit! Nah, Sandman says retry.
Alright, up next, the Spectre. Justice Society Detective. Not often we see detective. Mystical past and police. So not only is he a detective, but he's also a police officer. A simpler time. Once per turn for all characters with this trait, he gets 2 super sense on a 6. So similar to Flash. Yes. I just realized, Harvey Bullock and the Spectre.
Ooh.
Police team.
Sidestep.
We forgot to check Flash. Is he police? No.
They skipped on him.
Not this one, but there may be other.
There's tons of Flash.
It's going to be Barry Allen, because he's actually a police officer. So he's just really straightforward for 40 points. Phase teleport, flight with 8 range. Big movement there. He's a total taxi with 18 defense, super senses, and shape change. So he's going to taxi you in and try and stay alive. That's really all it is. Weaknesses, he may not have defensive reducers, but he's got 2 rollouts, and he's got 9 attack. He's not really going to do anything else. He's a taxi. He's a glorified taxi and tie-up piece. Make him better, give him the Lust Relic. Plasticity and combat reflexes. I'm going to come stand next to you, sidestep up, hold you in place, and then make you deal with my 18 defense, super senses, and shape change. While and sorry, combat reflex. So it's going to be 20 defense. That is a way to make him a lot better. Pair him with people who move slow, who need to get in there. Phase teleport, you can get him in or get him out. Good exit strategy. Alright.
Next up, we have Dr. Fate. Whopping 40 points with JSA team ability. Has All-Star Squadron, Justice Society, Mystical, and Past. Those keywords seem pretty stacked amongst all those guys in JSA. He has Simpler Time, which for his is Probability Control, but can only reroll one of the dice. So this one's a little more specific. It only rolls on one dice. So if you see a 6, roll it. 5, roll it. Hope and pray for lower numbers. His damage ability, which he has the entire dial for 5 clicks. Wow, these dials for such low points. At the beginning of your turn, choose Empower or Enhancement. Dr. Fate can use Choose Empower this turn. So depending on what your team needs, if you have the Atom on your team, pick Empower. If you have, I don't know, Spectre having range on him or
8 range.
Yeah, so yeah, you go. Wow, 8 range.
Yeah, give him that enhancement, make him feel better.
Damage?
I have
So
2.
that'd be 3. There you go.
3.
So you have options on the JSA team or other figures you could use these things with. Does have willpower. Does have flight, 6 range, so he can carry people, defend people with an 18, and willpower push. He can attack with a 9 attack for 2 damage if you really need that kind of thing.
So what does Dr. Fate's ID card grant?
His ID card states that opposing characters can't use Perplex.
So you call him in, you get to choose either Enhancement or Empower, and then you've got the JSA to pass off defense.
Of 18.
And then he's got Energy Shield Deflection with 18 defense.
Yes.
And then I'm going to boost my characters, I'm going to make it so you can't use Perplex.
Yeah, as long as he's by one of your characters, that character states that other characters can't use Perplex.
That could really help for knocking some values down in the middle of the game.
Right.
And help bring in that the real boy thing you're talking about.
Yes. He is not a terrible candidate for that kind of stuff either.
All right. Up next, I can't say enough good things about this particular character. Shiva, number 43, League of Assassins, Assassin, Martial Artist. So only the one named keyword, but she is amazing on any Batman enemy team ability, and we're going to cover that. Trait, this is how we deal with the bat when she passes off her Batman enemy team ability. Attack value by +1 if it's a close combat attack. Her special movement power, and there has been an errata on this character, which I find really odd, that she's supposed to have printed Precision Strike on her first 3 clicks. But her movement power is she can use Flurry and Precision Strike.
Weird.
So I'm wondering if this may be a new trend where they actually have characters that will have a power twice, so if it gets outwitted in one regard, you still get it from something else.
Which would be nice for some figures.
So Flurry and Precision Strike, period. When she uses Flurry, if the second attack is against the same target, you may keep the result from one of the dice from the first attack, and if you do, the second attack can't be re-rolled.
Whoa.
So I rolled a 6 and a 2 for my first attack. I'm going to set that 6 aside, thank you, and then I'm going to roll again. Oh, and what's that? You have Mitzpitalik? You're hoping to replace that die with something that was less? Nope, I'm going to keep it, thanks.
Because it can't be re-rolled, therefore he can't replace the die.
Her defensive power, which she has her whole dial, she can use combat reflexes, period. Adjacent opposing characters can't have their combat values increased when making close combat attacks. When close attacks, excuse me.
Close attack. So their reflexes, done.
Well, no, when they're making close attacks. So
when they make it. So they
no
can close
Perplex is helping you, no Close Combat Expert helping you, no Empower helping you.
Fair.
Nothing doing. But one big thing to note, weakness for her, no charge. I was always thinking, wow, she's amazing. I'm just going to charge in there and get you. Oh, wait, I can't charge.
That tone would...
And of course, we've been saying it, no damage reducers. She does have exploit weakness, so you do have to decide between Precision Strike, Flurry, and exploit weakness in a way. So, I mean...
Yeah, she's really good at countering a certain piece at a certain time.
She's gonna bust your heavy defense characters. She's gonna get in there, she's gonna get them for at least one in some matter or form. And then she just drops into Flurry, but... yeah, that's really lack of charge. I would have happily paid 10 more points even 25 more points, a 75-point Shiva to just give her charge. Oh, that would be amazing.
Even sidestep wouldn't hurt her.
Really. Make her better. Give her sidestep. Give her a defense booster. Pair her with Calculator. For Calculator at 50 points and her at 50 points, all of your Batman enemies can take 12 and get +1 to their close combat attacks, which makes it a 13.
13.
Pretty well anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Wow, guys.
Wow.
Alright, next up we have Katana. This figure is so great. She's 75 points, has the Outsider's TA, great value there. Keywords are spectacular.
I'm going to say it again. Thanks to Jamie Bird for hooking me up with a katana, because I really, really wanted one, and I had not had any luck in getting one. So thank you. Really appreciate that.
She has Birds of Prey, keyword, Outsiders.
Jamie Birds of Prey? I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
I'm not sure if he'll appreciate that.
I couldn't resist.
I don't know. Suicide Squad and Martial Artist.
I think I've just discovered Jamie Bird is the Blue Beetle, because he's the only man on the Birds of Prey team.
We know who you are, Jamie.
I've discovered your secret.
The jig is up.
And we've blasted it to the whole world. Whatever will you do? Guess you'll have to pass the mantle to Ted Cord now.
Anyways, Katana.
Okay.
You good?
Focus. Sorry.
She ignores hindering for movement purposes, which is great because she has stealth and charge on her first 2 clicks. Not bad. 2 traits. First one is the Muramasa Blade Soul Taker. Whenever Katana KOs an opposing character, choose one to use for the rest of the game. Precision Strike, Steel Energy, or Willpower.
She doesn't actually get Blade's Claws.
She never gets Blade's Claws Fangs.
What were you thinking? Her name is Katana. That is a blade. She carries the Muramasa, one of the most fabled, cursed blades of all time, and you did not give her Blade's Claws. Why?
It's okay.
No.
It's fine.
No.
Precision Strike is good enough.
Continue.
She takes a... Okay, one thing I would have argued with her against her is if, instead of picking those 3 powers, if she killed a figure, take any power on their dial. They've done that before.
They have.
Her sword power is literally to trap your soul in the blade, which I think would reflect taking a power from a figure she kills.
I know. I kind of like the power set that they gave her for that.
It makes sense.
I'm missing the Blade's Claws. I'm rolling blades. I'm swinging a sword. That's my deal. That's my persona.
To fight that, they did give her 3 damage the entire dial, except for her last click.
Okay, that's fair.
Had she had 1s, we'd have to have blades.
You know what? You could have lowered her costs, given her 1s, and then given her blades. Totally okay with that. Traded blades.
Speaking of which, blade, it's kind of right here. When an opposing character takes damage from Katana's close attack, after action resolve, you may place the slash marker, blades, on that character, moving from anywhere else. When a character with the slash marker is given an action token, deal it 1 penetrating damage. When the character heals or clears action tokens, remove the slash marker. Now, I like the clears effect spaces that say give it an action token, because if they have none, they have to either move to get one, or you can be really tricky and incapacitate them. That does count for that slash marker to go off. Right?
Ooh.
And the pushing damage is on willpower? Think about it.
The super rare Joker.
Oh!
Oh, you're bleeding? Here, I'm going to give you a token, and then I'm going to give you another one. Just bleed it out. 3 damage right there.
Dude, even Mixie could do that. Everyone plays that guy.
Okay, so anyway, digressing. That's how you make it better.
Covered. Done. Aside from that, she has no reducers. We keep saying the reducer thing is not very high in this set. A lot of reflexes, a lot of super senses. That's the consensus of the set. She does have Battle Fury and Flurry in the middle of her dial, and then ends out with Flurry and 15 with reflexes, 2 damage. So she's getting that blade marker out there. She's gonna hit you.
So you really need to focus on taking out at least 1 character and getting that steel energy first.
Yes.
And then work on getting that willpower, and then work on getting that precision strike. I recommend it in that order, because you're going to be really focusing on having her take people out.
And she's going to be close to everyone, so because of that reason, Steel Energy is really good, because then you could push her if you wanted to, healing her up, she needs the staying power. Her dial is only 5 clicks deep. 5 clicks straight through from a ranged attack, she will probably die. The stealth is saving her.
So the reason why I say steal energy first is, okay, you're going to charge in there, you're going to attack. And if you manage to kill something, you take a hit, you drop to those 3 clicks of flurry. Each one of those flurries, you're going to gain life. So if you're doing it without tokens, you're going to get a flurry, which may actually allow gain 2 life. You may be on your top flurry click or back to your normal charge. And if that flurry takes somebody out, then you can pick up your willpower. And then you've got willpower with the possibility of flurry if you take a hit, and she could just have an infinite survivability at that point with handing out that blade token. And then precision strike is kind of an afterthought.
Now, the viewers and I have a question probably about this one. So, her slash marker, if it KOs the figure, does she KO the figure?
Let me see.
We'll let Mikeneto answer this one for us, guys, real quick.
Let's see. Whenever Katana KOs a figure and Katana's close attack after action is resolved. That's going to be one for the forums. Let's see. Clears that. Remove the slash marker. So yes, she would be counting as KOing the figure because, and this is going to, what I'm going to say, WizKids may rule it differently. Her trait is what activates the slash marker. If she's no longer on the board, the slash marker no longer does damage. Therefore, she is the one that is dealing the damage, and if the character KOs, she KO'd it. Therefore, you can gain a power from the slash marker.
That's pretty dope, guys, if you think about it. Because, like I said, she'll deal 3, give him the slash marker, in-cap him with somebody, or give him tokens. That could easily kill a figure on your turn.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I like that. Thinking outside the box there, ErX.
Gotta try, man.
All right, up next, Deadshot, Gotham City Suicide Squad Assassin. 45 points. Real name, what is this? Will Smith? What?
Will Smith.
No, Floyd Lawson, a.k.a. Will Smith. So he gets one of these really interesting effects that they've been doing that they introduced in Uncanny X-Men.
Yes.
You can pay additional points. And when doing so, when building your force, a theme team may include Deadshot and still be a theme team if your force includes a character of a point value greater than 80. If your force doesn't have a character with a point value greater than 80, modify Deadshot's combat values by +1.
Now, important note.
-1. Minus, not plus, minus.
Minus.
Bad.
Important note. He does not gain the keyword, so he cannot theme team prop for that team.
Right. Another important note. If your characters that are greater than 80 points on your force die, he then gains those -1s in the middle of the game. So, and he doesn't. The only time he doesn't break a theme is if you actually have somebody who's greater than 80. So, I would question ruling on that if I lose my greater than 80 point character, if I lose my theme team props because my team is no longer themed. Because it says, let's see.
Doesn't seem right.
When building your force.
When building, you're fine. You're fine.
But it says, period, if your force doesn't have a character with a point value greater than 80.
So if you lose 80 point character, we are most likely assuming he's going down values.
Yep. He just doesn't want to be in charge. He's like, I've been paid. The person who paid me's gone. I really don't want to be here anymore.
We are done.
Ignores character bases for line of fire. I found that very helpful in Joker's Wild Box 2, which may or may not be out at this point. So he, we really wish he was busting stealth at this point. But
the stealth busting in this set is like...
We'll live with it. Batman enemy and Suicide Squad. So great on Suicide Squad, great with Batman enemies. Stealth with ranged combat expert with 11 attack. In that second battle box, I found it great. He was just a turret. Put him in a square of hindering. Pick my targets. I'm either shooting with 13 attack or I'm shooting for 4 damage.
9 square threat range.
Yeah, 9 range. Really wasn't a hard choice every time. You would think it would be. No. It was, well, I either really want to hit you or I'm really going to damage you. Drops into running shot, loses his range combat expert, which is fine because you can't range combat expert and running shot at the same time. And then drops into sidestep with energy shield deflection and back to range combat expert. So he's going to jump back into stealth so he can be rocking a 19 defense and then shooting you with range combat expert again. Again, Suicide Squad, if he dies, if you've got Waller, everybody heals. You got Suicide Squad standing next to him and he's going to heal them. But overall, for 75 to 80 points, definitely worth every penny of this Deadshot. To make him better, give him more enhancement, give him some way to bust stealth or break stealth so that he can get those shots in and just make every shot count.
Alright, next up we have Grace. She is an outsider with the Outsider Team Buddy with Amazon. Now, she feels to me like she fills the role of a Wonder Woman on an Outsiders team. because at 125 points, you're getting a figure with amazing reducers. She's got invincibility top dial with impervious next 3, and then down to invulnerable with an 18-17. Never has below a 10 attack, and on her last 4 clicks, close combat expert. Now, that's not what makes her amazing, but it kind of is, but the thing she also does is her trait. I'll take the big guy. That sounds like something one would say. Like, I wonder if she is from the same Amazonian world she is. I don't know. So
I would assume so.
If you guys know, please comment. I would love to learn that. So, I search the wiki sometimes, but the wikis, I'm just lazy. So. Trait says, after a move action, Grace is given resolves, she may make a close attack targeting an adjacent higher point opposing character. Period. Wow. There's weird wording for that.
Oh no, it's worded very specifically because charge is you take a power action and you can move up to half your value, then do a close combat attack. Or close combat, attack. So in this instance, she actually moves and that action resolves.
Yes.
Then she can attack. So with the charge, it happens during that action. It's all part of one action. But this means that she can move, then outsiders, then outwit if Batman's on your team, then do whatever anybody else needs to do that character, then she can thump you with an ultra heavy for ridiculous amounts of damage.
Yes, exactly. That's almost way better than her actual charge. And
but they have to be greater. They have to be 126 points or more for that to be really helpful.
And which we've seen lately, the number of characters that have that aren't too high anymore. But that's fine. She will literally kill the Dark Angels out there, the Ares out there. You know, Moreland. This guy. What, is that Joker?
Killing Joke Joker, yeah.
Oh,
he'll just mastermind it up onto a
He'll be like, ha, you're funny.
Oh, you hit me right in the goon.
Right in the goon.
That's flavor text on one of the Joker's cards.
That's
I read it the other day. Awesome. Okay, anyway.
But weaknesses, close combat piece, she has to get up in there to fight. I do love the 10 square can hit a higher point cost character. If their whole team is less points, that kind of makes that trait irrelevant in all of its point value costs, unfortunately. But she still has an 11-4 with ultra heavy. She's going to deal 7 to something and probably kill them. She will thump a Ra's al Ghul dead. Yeah. Making her better. TK always. I like putting more movement. Fly her in there. She doesn't have flight, so she needs someone to carry her around. Honestly, make sure you have objects. You know, symbiote her. I don't care. Make her have plasticity and auto break.
Stand next to me.
Harley's hammer for giant reach because 7 square reach of
Figure out a way to try and keep her defenses from being countered or outwit.
Yeah, that's the thing too. She's very susceptible to outwit.
All right. Last, for me, last for you. Killer Croc, number 47, rare, Gotham City Underworld Brute. I know, no Suicide Squad keyword.
No Arkham Asylum keyword. What the freak?
This was not the Croc I was hoping for. Again,
not the Croc you're looking for.
I'm a firm believer that Croc is pretty well larger than life. Yes, Batman can really take him out because he's just kind of dumb. But I mean, I personally think Croc could, go a round or two with Bane.
Yeah, those two are probably on very much almost the same level. Like, if Bane's not totally super venomed out, it'd be a good fight.
Right. Trait, how he deals with the bat. Character's attack value by +2 if it's close attack and the target occupies water or terrain. So we've got a lot of things that generate water terrain now.
I think Hydro Man made a new best friend.
Yup. Charge, toughness, drops into blades, and sidestep with Batman enemy TA. Mediocre values all around, but for 50 points, you do that Shiva calculator, Killer Croc, that's 150 points. You got 150 points of room for other people. He could really be pretty dangerous, especially on a map that has a lot of water.
And there are actually quite a few out there that have water terrain in them, guys.
What is it? That bridge, the X-Men bridge map, where it's all water on either side? Just to have your team go for a swim.
I got it. Hold on. Check out this tech, guys. Harley Quinn with Force Blast, right? Firefly, push him into the water. Get Croc out there somewhere. He'll go nom nom nom, and the buddy will say, "Oh, he's in water now. I'll do even more attack on him."
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah, bridge map. Good choice, dude.
All right. Weaknesses, you know, kind of blah character, really overall, not great attack values, but I think we already covered how to make him better. So
Yes.
that's it for me on the rare reviews. What do you got, Eric?
So last but not least is Garfield Lynn's Firefly. So Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Underworld, and Armor. Great keywords. Love him on those. He has the attack power on first 3 clicks of his dial, Napalm, Energy Explosion. That's good.
Always love
When he hits with a
the
range attack, after actions resolve, the fire marker gets attached to one hit opposing character, removing it from anywhere else.
So keep in mind, energy explosion. You get to pick which one of those was hit gets that fire marker. Could be in 2 directions too, because then you have 2 bolts.
2 bolts, 5 range.
So somebody over there, anybody in those groups gets that fire marker wherever you want it.
At the beginning of that character's turn, deal it 1 penetrating damage. So he just dealt 3 damage to somebody, and then 1 more at the beginning of their turn, penetrating.
Or 2 if it was the energy explosion, and then you get 1 more after the fact.
Exactly. That's 3 to at least 2 targets if done right. When that character moves through water terrain or create extra tokens, remove the fire marker. So same as Diablo, except for his is what was it?
Ranged only.
Range only. That's what it was. If you guys saw in my Killing Joker ErX team video, this guy is a transporter. He moves you guys around. Super great. Can be a great primary / secondary attacker. Does have a nice 17 defense with invulnerability. I like that reducer topped out because if he does get hit, he does probably go into his 18 defense with toughness, so his defense will go up. Heavily 9 attack though, but like I said, Batman enemy makes these guys better. I hate to say it, but every single Batman character in this set is way better with other Batman enemy characters. On their own, they're not nearly as good.
Well, you know, on their own, Batman just kind of takes them out without him thinking about it. When they team up, they're actually somewhat of a challenge for Batman.
Somewhat of a challenge. I want to play the Fast Forces one so bad and just hit every single one of them. That would just be fun. Late dial, he does get sidestepped with Psychic Blast. Can no longer use the fire marker because it's a special power and not a trait. That's very interesting. They've done fewer flicks effects,
Traits,
not on a trait. Yeah, so I'm like, wow.
So I did have a chance to play Firefly in the match that we did not record. And, you know, I had high hopes. I had the Batman enemy. I was borrowing good attack values. My dice were cold, and I kept pushing him. I kept hoping for it. And he just fell apart at the seams, just all the way. Do not push him. He is not worth the push. He's going to be a very slow, very methodical, lighting people up, and just, unless you figure out a way to give him willpower, do not push him. It's not worth it.
He's way better carrying in someone stronger and then being backup attacker. If you can have someone carried in, next turn have them attack if they have willpower or don't care to push, and they do a lot of damage and he can follow up for a push, sure. But only that scores you between 70 to 120 points if you can make that happen. That's well worth the push. But aside from that, keep him back. Let him be a secondary attacker when he has 1 or no tokens. So, otherwise, if he does push, you lose your high defense. Your invuln. Toughness only reaches so much, and 18 can be hit. Hindering's your best friend. Get that +1.
Yep. All right, that has been the sum of our rares review for Joker's Wild. Hope you've all found it very informative. And please, if we missed anything, feel free to comment below. Let us know. Point out some things that you feel that we could have covered better, or that maybe something we didn't think of for these characters. When it comes to the overwhelming hate on a couple of these characters that we've talked about, in particular Killer Moth and Looker Prime, these are our opinions. Please don't take offense. That's just how we feel about it. You're welcome to comment if you feel strongly in the other direction. We're always welcome to hear that.
Yes.
We have our opinions, and other people have theirs, and we're hoping that everyone can draw their own conclusions. So just because we say that's the way it is doesn't mean that's the way
That's how it is. Yep.
All right. Well, anything
please
else?
make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching, and tell us how we're doing. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Remember,
strike first
and strike hard.